When I do push-ups, I don't push myself up. I push the earth down.
What if I told you a man who seemed invincible is gone? Not in a movie, not in a meme, but in real life. And the truth behind his final days is more emotional than anyone expected. For decades, Chuck Norris wasn't just a celebrity. He was a symbol of strength, of discipline, of resilience. Millions grew up believing one thing: Chuck Norris doesn't lose. But here's the reality. At 86 years old, after decades of pushing his body, inspiring generations, and redefining toughness, the world has now lost one of its most iconic figures. And what makes this even more shocking? Just days before his passing, he looked fine, even powerful, even unstoppable. Earlier this week, reports quietly surfaced, no headlines at first, no viral panic, just a simple update. He had been hospitalized in Hawaii, following an undisclosed medical emergency. No one knew how serious it was. No one expected what would come next, because just days before that, he posted a video, smiling, moving, training, with a caption that now feels haunting: "I don't age. I level up." That wasn't just confidence. That was Chuck Norris being Chuck Norris. But behind the scenes, something had changed. To understand why this moment hits so deeply, you have to understand who he really was. Not just the fighter, not just the actor, but the man. Born Carlos Ray Norris in a small town in Oklahoma, life didn't start easy for him. He wasn't the strongest kid. He wasn't the most confident. In fact, he once described himself as shy. But something changed when he joined the U.S. Air Force. Stationed in South Korea, he discovered martial arts. And that changed everything. What started as curiosity became discipline. What became discipline turned into mastery. And mastery turned into legacy. He didn't just learn to fight. He learned control, patience, respect. And eventually, he created his own martial arts system, built not just on strength, but on character. That's what made him different. Because for him, it was never just about winning fights. It was about becoming someone stronger inside. Then came Hollywood, a moment that would define his career forever, starring alongside Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon. That fight scene? Legendary. Two icons, one screen. And from that moment, the world took notice. From there, his rise was unstoppable. Action films, global fame, a reputation that grew bigger than life itself. But then came something even bigger. Television. Walker, Texas Ranger. A show that didn't just entertain, it inspired. It showed justice, discipline, morality, and for millions of viewers, he wasn't just a character. He was a role model. But here's the part most people don't talk about. Behind the fame, he stayed grounded. Family meant everything to him. To the world, he was a warrior. But to his family, he was a husband, a father, a grandfather, the center of their world. And then came something unexpected. The internet turned him into a myth. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down. Funny? Yes, but also powerful. Because it showed something deeper. People didn't just respect him. They believed in him. He became larger than reality itself. And instead of rejecting it, he embraced it. With humility. With humor. That's rare. But even legends are human. And this week, that truth became impossible to ignore. After his sudden hospitalization, his family released a statement. Not dramatic, not sensational, just real. They described a man surrounded by love. A man at peace. A man who lived with faith, purpose, and unwavering commitment to those he cared about. And maybe that's the most powerful part of this story. Because in the end, it wasn't about the fights. It wasn't about the fame. It was about the life he built. Think about this for a second. A man who inspired millions to be strong was, at his core, simply someone who loved deeply. Someone who showed up for his family. Someone who gave everything he had, not just to the world, but to the people closest to him. And now, that chapter is closed. We live in a world where people come and go. Celebrities rise and fade. But every once in a while, someone leaves a mark that doesn't disappear. Chuck Norris wasn't just remembered because he was tough. He's remembered because he stood for something. Discipline, respect, strength with purpose. And maybe that's why this loss feels different. Because it's not just about losing a person, it's about losing a symbol. At 86, he lived a full life, a powerful life, a meaningful life. From a quiet kid in Oklahoma to a global icon, to a legend that will never truly fade. And while his passing marks the end of an era, his impact, that stays. In every person he inspired, in every lesson he taught, in every moment he proved that strength isn't just physical, it's who you choose to become. So the real question is, what does his story mean to you? Did he inspire you growing up? Did his movies, his discipline, or even those crazy internet facts make an impact on your life? Let me know in the comments. Because legends don't live forever, but their stories do.
I don't age. I level up.